It's very deep. If it's, incredibly deep, it won't be removed with laser. Okay. But the superficial ones are easy to remove.
Okay, the next commandment, please.
Thou shalt not exfoliate too aggressively.
We're always being told that we need to exfoliate, but not too aggressively.
Well, for example, this granular scrub, there's little grains in it. This usually can only be used twice a week. You know, if you use it too much, the granules will overstimulate and stimulate more oil production.
Okay, so we're using the dermalogical scrub there, it's a granule scrub.
Granular one, and this is superficial. It'll just remove the dead skin cells on the surface of the skin. Whereas you have alternative scrubs, if you prefer, that would be gentle enough for daily use. This one here has fruit acids, and this is the Murad fruit acid one. This contains some glycolic acid, lactic acid and salicylic acid, and that works deep down. Fantastic for anyone that has blackheads or breakouts. Very good for the anti-age client too that wants to
so if your skin is sensitive, you're better off with a cleansing exfoliator rather than a grainy one.
Yeah, and something with fruit acids is better. It's not as stimulating, and good for anyone that has high colouring or broken veins. It's not going to stimulate those as much.
Okay, so and you'd always have your face a bit moist as well, I guess.
Yeah, I usually use damp fingertips to massage it in, and it works much better.
Okay, number 7.
Thou shalt love thy skin in the AM and PM.
Okay, very important, taking care of your skin.
Well, first of all, you must identify your skin type and then form a regime for that. So we're going to use a morning programme. Perhaps we have the Lancome Genifique serum and day cream. So you should put on your day cream in the morning, followed by your night cream at night time.
So would you put the serum on first, let it sink in, and then put the day cream on?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll show you the serum. This serum, you just use about 3 or 4 pumps, and you'd warm it gently in the fingertips.
Okay.
And then massage it into the skin.
And does a serum go deeper into your skin than a moisturiser?
Well, it's a lighter weight product,
of course,
and it will sink in more easily.
So you just rub it in gently. Okay, our next commandment, please.
Thou shalt not spray scent willy-nilly.
Really? I spray scent willy-nilly all the time. I love perfume.
Well, perfume can actually make you more sun sensitive. So therefore, if you spray your perfume on the sides of your neck, you can be more sun sensitive and therefore develop sun damage. So you can.
And you can actually get this redness.
Poikiloderma.
What is that called?
Poikiloderma. And that's where you can develop just brown pigmentation from sun exposure and some broken veins as well. So really you should put your perfume on maybe your clothes or your hair.
Okay, that's it. This is my latest. I will never spray perfume again. And our last commandment on my hair, it lasts longer. The next commandment, please.
Thou shalt relieve thyself of stress.
Okay, I guess you mean lots of massages and stuff.
Well, stress releases stress hormones, and that can lead to acne and breakouts and hives, psoriasis. So really, if you can de-stress, go for a walk and massage, as you say, it'll help with the stress.
Yeah, of course, it's very important for your skin. Yeah. Last commandment in the beauty regime.
Thou shalt have a healthy diet and lifestyle.
Yes, I guess drink loads of water, Sharon, is it?
Well, obviously water will hydrate the skin, and obviously eating a healthy regime. I mean, if you eat foods rich with vitamin A helps to renew the skin, vitamin E helps to retain the moisture balance, and vitamin C then helps to protect the skin because it's an antioxidant. But lastly, if you do actually observe all our commandments, you won't covet your neighbour's skin.
Okay, that's right.
You'll have good skin of your own.
Excellent. Thank you, Sharon. Of course, for all of Sharon's tips and the products that we've mentioned, because we mentioned quite a few products today, all you have to do is take a look at our website. It's on the screen there, or our Airtel page 340. look.
It's 6 major banks.
It dates back to the first dynasty of Egypt. It can change the way we look and even feel. Many of us refuse to go out without it, and it's part of an industry that, even in a recession, it's growing. What is it? Of course, it's makeup. But how do you know? But did you know, I should say, that ignoring the small print, the tiny little print on the back of cosmetics could actually make you ill? Beauty expert Sharon Gilmartin is here to tell us all about that. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Maura. How are you?
Good, good. Sharon, it is quite scary that if we ignore the little small print and on the back of these cosmetics, that they can actually cause horrible infections, eye infections and all that type of thing. First of all, how do we know how long a product lasts?
Well, the EU have brought in a directive where there's a symbol of a jar on the back of all cosmetics, makeup and skincare. And it just looks like this. And it starts with a number followed by the letter M.
Oh, yes.
And in this case here, this expires after opening after 12 months. So this symbol should be on any product you buy in the EU.
We have it on the screen there now, just kind of brought up there a little bit. So it's a little jar that's kind of open. So it means that from the day you open this, it'll last X amount of time.
It's a general guideline because you know, in some cases, some people will actually mind the product, store them correctly and use them with clean applicator sponges. But in other cases, other clients might actually use it with store it on a bathroom windowsill with the sun beating in, moist surroundings, and the jar may be left open. So they're not going to last as long.
Depends.
So certainly your common sense would prevail when a product goes out of date.
Okay, we're going to start first with the base, with foundations. How long do they normally last now?
Well,
I'm wondering.
Most foundations will last about 3 to 18 months.
Okay.
So you'll find that the oil-free foundations like this one here, they're not going to last as long because they're going to dry out much faster than the cream versions and, let's say, the compacts. They're going to last a little bit longer.
Okay, and what about, say, something like this here left open? How long would that last if we left it like that?
Well, this is actually a jar, so it's going to be more open to contaminants like airborne bacteria. So that's not going to last as long as, let's say, this one here, which has a pump. That one has a pump action. So the best foundations to buy are the pump type, or else, let's say, a tube. So there's less bacteria getting in. So
you have to squish this to get it out, so it has to actually come through a filter to get it out.
And like, if you're actually using this applicator tip to apply your foundation, the applicator tip might be coming in contact with maybe acne spots. And if you put a dirty applicator tip back into the foundation, you're contaminating the remaining foundation. So you really should give it a wipe after using it.
It's common sense, really, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know,
and powders probably last longer, do they, powder foundations?
Powder foundations, pressed eyeshadows, all of those are going to last about 2 years. And they're just literally compressed pigment, so they will last longer. However, how you store them is very important. You should always keep the lid closed. And the likes of these sponges, I mean, I don't know who owns this.
I know who owns it. Ha-ha. Name and shame. Name and shame. No, I won't. I better not.
The sponges should really be washed every week. And
every week?
Yeah, and let air dry. If you put a damp sponge into your powder, it's going to encourage mould to grow, because in the moisture, the bacteria is encouraged to grow. So you should let it air dry before you put it back into the container.
How do you wash those, Sharon?
You know, maybe baby shampoo. Give them a rinse, or soapy water is fine.
That's all. You don't need to get all kind of perfect about
Absolutely.
it. Just a little rinse.
And you know when your powders are gone off, because they'll go shiny on the top, and they won't use them. They won't. You won't be able to use them as easily. They don't work.
We should say as well. You were telling me earlier on that the foundations, it starts separating.
That's right.
When it goes off.
The consistency will change. You'll find it'll thin out and get runny, or else go lumpy, and then obviously you'll get a bad odour too. So you know, common sense will tell you when it's actually time to ditch it.
Now, mascaras. I'm sure we all commit massive sin when it comes to mascaras. How long do they last?
Well, typically they should last about 3 to 6 months.
That's all?
That's all. I mean, the shelf life of mascara is much less than any other makeup item in your makeup bag, and simply because there's moisture inside, and most people will tend to pump the mascara wand, allowing more air to get in there and encourage bacteria to breathe.
Yeah, we have some really kind of wrecked looking mascaras here now that are totally, this is something that's totally dried out, that should have been dumped a long time ago. And that's how you'd know, and the smell's kind of weird too. Yeah. That smells a bit funny.
Ideally, you should twist your mascara wand rather than pumping it.
All right, okay, so when you're taking it out, twist it.
Yeah, and then it'll last much longer. And you know, when they tend to dry out, don't be encouraged to add some warm water or anything to make it last longer.
Disaster.
Because that's encouraging more bacteria to breed, and it can cause, you know, the likes of conjunctivitis, eye infections, styes. So that's very important, not to share your mascara or share any eye makeup products.
And conjunctivitis is such a horrible infection, isn't it?
Red, you know, terrible, you know, so
there's no need for that.
You need to ditch any exposure expired makeup. It's just too dangerous.
Okay, let's take a look at lipsticks and glosses.
Lipstick will last longer than gloss because glosses are more liquidy, and by the way the fat and the pigment is formulated in lipstick, that they will last quite a while, from 18 months right up to 2 years. So your lip glosses will last about the 18 months, while your lipstick will last about the 2 years.
Sharon, you know when you sometimes see on a lipstick there's a bit of moisture on it, is that something bad or is it okay?
It looks like little moisture bubbles on the top, but they're not. That's not expired. You can just give that a wipe with some tissue and that will be fine, you know, and you can still use it.
Okay.
But they'll tend to dry out. Lipsticks will dry out and won't go on as creamy or as slick as they should normally. So you'll know when it's time to ditch it. It'll leave your lipstick.
Share them obviously as well in case you get a cold sore.
That's right. So you'll know when it's time to ditch them as well, you know, because they'll just dry out and cause your lips to become chapped and dry and cause some blisters too, you know.
Okay, let's move on to liners, lip liners and eyeliners.
Well, they're the workhorses of your makeup bag. They're going to last a lot longer because you're going to sharpen them hopefully every week, and that'll prevent the bacteria to grow. So you'll tend to get about 2 years out of those.
That's pretty good.
But when they start crumbling and become flaky, and when you keep sharpening them and they keep disappearing and disappearing, that's when they're gone off. They're dried out and they're not going to work anymore. So it's time to ditch those.
Okay, and if you had an infection, a cold sore or something like that, can you just sharpen them and move on to the next bit?
I think you can.
That should be okay.
Yeah, I think common sense, you're getting onto a fresh part of it. So I think, yeah, you could definitely do that, you know.
Okay, now the tools of the trade. Makeup brush is very, very important, but again, harbouring massive germs if you don't wash them.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to come in contact with your natural oils on your face as well as your makeup. So it's time to, every week, give them a rinse. You can use, again, soapy water or some baby shampoo, or indeed these cosmetic brush cleaners. And you can get those in good makeup shops, you know, and they'll clean them and they're quite easy and fast to use. You just pour some out onto some tissue and rub your brush over, so it's very easy to use.
Should you let those dry as well, naturally, air dry?
Yeah, leave them flat to dry by air, and then they're fine to go again.
Yeah, and they last years, really, if you get by good brushes, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, good natural bristle brushes will last quite a while, you know.
Okay. And you have a little tip for us before you go. I think this is a great idea. Because say, for example, you open your mascara, your foundation, whatever. Yeah,
most people can never remember when they bought their foundation. So we have a little sticker on. See the pump on there? And you can actually put the date. We put the today's date. So from once you open it, the open jar symbol indicates when it's safe to use after you open it. So that will give you a good idea when it's time to throw them out. So those little stickers are handy for your makeup. Nobody ever remembers.
Organised. I never remember when I open anything how old it is, and I have no idea. Disaster. Sharon, thanks very much. But again, it is very important, and you can end up with nasty, horrible, yucky infections like we showed earlier on. Okay, for all of Sharon's tips, all you have to do is to pop onto our website, our Airtel page as well, 340. It's all there. Next week, we're going to be looking there. Last week, our beauty expert Sharon Gilmartin showed us how out-of-date makeup can be toxic, but also really, really dangerous for our health. Well, she's back to show us how to restock our makeup bag for under €50, which is a great feat. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Maura. How are you?
Good, thanks. Now, Sharon, a lot of people might think, oh, €50 for makeup, but the reality is it's difficult to stock a makeup bag for €50.
That's right. Well, most makeup bag can be well over €100, you know, even 150. But we have actually the capsule makeup bag here for just under €50. It's unbelievable.
Now, we actually did our own little survey in our office today. We asked all the girls in the office to add up all the makeup in their makeup bag and get a cost. And the average was €140. There they are now, everybody in the office. And, you know, you wouldn't think it when you look in a makeup bag that all this stuff costs so much, but it does.
Yeah, and that's even without the brushes.
That's even without the brushes, my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so we have our model Colette here, and you've made up half of Colette's face, and we're going to make up the other half. So we're going to first look at foundation, and you've managed to find a really good foundation for a good price.
Yeah, I like this Rimmel one because it has a pump, which is great for preventing contamination. It has a factor 15 and it has a nice coverage. There's actually some technology in it which actually works with your skin tone to blend in much better. So we have a nice colour here that matches Colette's face, and it warms up as you apply it.
1170 is pretty good for a foundation.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Okay. And you like to apply with the brush, Sharon, do you?
Well, it's just I can get even coverage. You know, I prefer it. You can rinse them out rather than sponges.
And you don't waste product.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's my tip anyways, is the brush for even application.
Okay, so where are we going to go next? We're going to take a look at bronzer.
The bronzer can be used, this particular shade in the number 7, it's
Boot 17.
Boot 17. This can be used as your powder to, you know, if you want a very reasonable makeup bag, it can be used for contouring the face as well as setting your foundation, as well as, you know, warming up the chest area and the neckline, you know. So
and I'm just looking at that, Sharon. It's not. There's not too much of a glow or shimmer in it, which is good actually. A matte bronzer is a good investment, isn't it?
Exactly. And I often use it for contouring the face. If you find that you have a little bit of weight on your face, I would tend to contour underneath the cheek area here. If you just add a little bit of extra bronzer just there, it'll give you more of a defined cheek.
Oh, very good. So good shadow. Okay, very good. And that's very cheap. $5.89.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
very good.
And nice quality too.
Now you've managed to find some eyeshadows for what, $3.49 each. That's pretty good.
This seems to be a new range that's out recent times, the NYC, and I actually think that pigment quality is excellent for the price.
So we're talking about pigment, we're talking about colour quality.
The quality of the colour. You know, when you get a cheap eyeshadow, sometimes it's very hard to get it on your actual eye. But you'll see here on Colette, if you close over at Colette, it's very easy. You don't need a lot of product and you get really nice coverage. And with this base here, this can be used as a base for your eyeshadow as well as actually a highlighter. So this white, a lot of people don't know where you actually put it, but you can cover the entire lid and work it right into the brow bone there for your highlighter.
Oh, very good.
And what it does is it actually allows the true colour of your eyeshadow to come right through the makeup, you know. And
you know, you see the look that's in at the moment, that very 50s look, the very bare lid is really in, isn't it? Or kind of a shimmery lid.
Yeah, that's right, and a light shade. And light colours do open up the eye. And all you need to do then is apply the deeper shade right into the socket line.
Just to give a bit of depth and definition.
But the clever thing is not to go for something too deep. If you go for a medium tone colour, just like this brown here, you can go right up into the socket line and you're not going to make too many mistakes. You know, for somebody that might be a novice doing their eyes, don't go too deep. If you go for a very dark chocolatey brown, it's very difficult to blend into the socket line unless you
so stick to a kind of a taupey colour.
Yeah, medium toned, not too pale, because otherwise you're not going to get definition into the socket line. And that just opens up the eye.
Okay, again, $3.49 for those eyeshadows. Okay, now you're in love with this mascara. This is a dual purpose mascara. It's got it's two kind of ends to it, isn't it?
It's my favourite out of the whole capsule makeup bag. You actually have a clear thickener for the lashes. You can apply it onto the lashes, bare lashes, and it'll thicken them up. Look right up there, Colette. Or you can put it on at the end of the day if you're about to go out. You can reapply it again and it'll separate the lashes, thicken them all up, and you know, you can then reapply your mascara another layer again. I've also on Colette, I like it up here in the brows, just to set the brows.
That's a great idea.
And give them a bit of, you know, if you use a brow powder, it dulls down the brows and you need to give it